Hello, and welcome to a special City of Brighton podcast about Live at Millpond Park, an exciting new free concert series taking place in downtown Brighton this summer, with 10 Thursday evening shows at the Amphitheater beginning June 18th, and 6 Saturday night performances near the Firepit beginning July 18th. These shows will feature artists like Sponge, Killer Flamingos, Jill Jack Band, and many more. We're here at Speakeasy Studios in downtown Brighton. I am your host, Chris Brown of the Detroit Free Press, and with me today are the key players who helped make Live at Millpond Park happen. We have Scott Griffith from Griffith Realty and the Brighton Downtown Development Authority, Cal Stone from Two Stones Events, who curated the acts for these shows, and Heather Schaefer, Vice President of Sales for Pulte Homes, who has generously sponsored the series in partnership with the DDA. I thought we'd start by letting you all introduce yourselves and then telling us a little bit about how you came to be part of Live at Millpond Park. And we'll start with Scott Griffith to my right.
We're proud to have been involved in the redevelopment of downtown and keeping it vibrant. And this is just one more step of a great start. So that's how I get involved.
And Cal Stone from Two Stones.
My wife and I, Whitney, are Two Stones Events, and I was also on the DDA for, I think, 4 years, right when we redid the amphitheater. But our company, we book live music. So we have our own series at the Amp, which is the second Wednesdays of June, July, August, September. We do shows at Chalmichi's. We booked music at just about every bar and restaurant in the city. So the DDA asked us if we would be interested in this, and we jumped on it. We're all in.
Yeah, it's very cool. And Heather, how did you get involved with this?
Well, we were a home builder, obviously, and we've been in Michigan for 75 years now. And one thing I think we learned during 2020 and COVID was people want to congregate and be together. Being outside is ideal. So when we were asked to sponsor this event, we raised our hands high and are very excited to be a part of it.
Well, and I think we should probably right away get to talking about some of the acts that are going to be here. So Cal, I don't know if you want to run down the list.
Yeah,
and
I happen to have one.
All right,
here.
very good.
When we redid the amphitheater, 2019, Scott?
Yes. Yeah.
We had a big name kick it off. We went with Sponge. I'm assuming you're familiar with
Yes.
Sponge.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Killer band, and they tore it up. We had probably 5,000 people here. So when it came time to kick this series off, they seemed like a natural fit. And Whitney and I have booked Sponge. The leader is Vin Dombrowski. We have booked him several times in Sponge and in his other bands, the Orbitsons. He's got a few. And he was all about it. He loved it. And then we've got the Stone Blossoms, who are, I'm not sure, 2 or 3 of the members are in Uncle Cracker's band.
Gotcha.
Really, really good high energy band. Dave Hamilton, kind of a flamethrower guitarist trio, like a power trio, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, that type stuff. The Detroit Drive is a local band. Cover band, they do rock, they do country, they'll do Journey, they'll do Taylor Swift, whatever. Really good band. We've booked them a lot too. We have them at our own series at the Amp. They played at Cleary Summerfest, which we book. And they play like at the Pound and, Label every once in a while. Vinyl Rocket. So several years ago when the Main Street was totally revised, the DDA did a couple of events to kick that off. They were probably about 3 months apart. We did one down at the Grand River end, and then we did one down at the, First Street end. Yeah. And then we had a couple big bands play at the Amp, one of those being Vinyl Rocket, who's just a really high energy 80s, 90s cover band. We book them for South Lyons Pumpkin Fest. We do Milford's Thursday series. They play that. They played our series at the Amp. Killer Flamingos, they're like the classic party band in the Detroit area. They've been around a long time. I'd always heard their name. I didn't really get hip to them because I'm a little older. I'm 66, and they were, a little bit younger. And then we booked them for something. I was like, wow, these guys are killers. Literally.
Yeah.
So we booked them quite a few times. Tasha Owens and the Stable Dudes, really good blues band out of Detroit. Tasha's a killer vocalist. There's a couple of tribute things that go around, and she plays Etta James, and so she can nail the blues stuff. Gridiron Friends is a really interesting one. Theo Gridiron, you may or may not know his name, but every time the Lions score a touchdown, he sings.
The Forward Down the
sings.
Field song?
Yes,
All
that's
right.
that's
There you go.
Theo. But he's also an incredible musician, and he plays in a bunch of different outfits. But this one is his band. It's Gridiron Friends, really good band. Jill Jack, I mean, I don't know if anybody's won more Detroit Music Awards than Jill Jack. I think she's got over 50. And we have been friends and booking her for a couple decades. Dave Bennett is super cool. He's played Carnegie Hall.
Oh, wow.
He started out as a self-taught clarinetist, and he looks like Benny Goodman, so he really played off that, and he did that for about 5 years, and then he expanded. But now he does straight ahead jazz. He does the clarinet thing, but then he goes into like this Jerry Lee Lewis thing, playing the piano and rockabilly. He'll do Chris Isaak type stuff. He's got great originals. He's a really, really good entertainer. I kind of put him last because I don't want anybody to have to follow him. Seriously.
And those are all the people at the Amp, which is kind of the larger, more amphitheater. It's called that. But then you have the sort of more intimate, I guess they're acoustic performances on Saturday, right? Near the Firepit. It'll be a little bit like going to a bonfire with your friend who plays guitar.
Yeah.
Except these people are actually good at it.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah.
Want to hit on them a little bit.
Yeah, we've got I've got 6: Mike Vile, Johnny Rhodes, Darwin Mamassian, Nick James, Dan Kalicki, and Kerry Holmes. And yeah, the idea was to, instead of put them in like a 10 by 10 tent with a little PA and it's not very intimate, was to just have them bring their acoustic guitar and sing by the fire pit and do it like that. And they were all over it because they don't get to do that. They might do it at home, but when they play out in their bands or in bars or whatever as solo, they don't do that. So they were really interested in doing it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and obviously a series like this is designed to help get people downtown to enjoy everything that's down there. And so, Scott, I don't know if you have any specific thoughts about what you'd like to see.
Well, I mean, when we started talking about this at the DDA, we were saying we need something for people because we are blessed with a downtown that's active and full, but people need reservations and their stores are full. And what do you do when and we wanted something going on in the background. And before long, it grew into a much bigger item, which may be a draw for more people to come downtown. But we just wanted to bring that vibrancy downtown that on Thursday nights and be able to have on a Saturday, if you're waiting for a table or you're going around, to have time to be able to enjoy what we've done in the redo of the downtown. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so I've been a resident of Brighton since about 1991, and ever since we moved here, that downtown area, that Millpond, was the focus. There were always shows there. It's always been like the draw for people, but it's never been quite as nice as it is now. And I don't know if you have any insight into like all the stuff that's going on to make it a cool congregating place.
But as Cal mentioned, we redid the Amp back in '91, and then as everybody knows, we redid the Main Street here in the last few years so that they're ADA compliant. We don't have curbs. We have beautiful plantings, and it's just been that much more of a draw, and we're blessed because of that. It has really been an attraction, and people want to live in the downtown. Vis-a-vis Pulte sees that, and that's why we're so blessed to have them building a facility in downtown. People want to be able to walk down. They want to be able to enjoy it. They want to enjoy it like they did when they're in college and be able to walk home. And it doesn't matter what age you are. You like to be around people that are having a good time,
Yeah, and you've done a nice segue for me. And the part that's going on is Pulte is building, West Village it's called?
West Village Townhome. So it's the site of the former elementary school. We're building 107 townhomes there that are about 1,900 square feet. We have immediate move-ins, and then all throughout summer we're going to have delivery. So and then obviously moving forward, but.
Yeah, it's really nice to see because, as I mentioned, I've been here since 1991, and it was Lindbaum Elementary School for many years. And
Well, it started out as West because
I'm
I
sorry.
went there as
Okay.
West Elementary. Mr. Lindbaum was still the principal.
So there's a Brighton.
You purchased one then.
So I got it up there.
It's a Brighton history lesson for me. When I was growing up, it was Lindbaum, and I played soccer there. I played baseball there. I may have had to perform community service there after an unfortunate senior prank went awry. But it was kind of laying fallow for, it seems like, about 15 years. And I know some things were proposed and it didn't happen. But how'd you guys get this through? And how excited are you to finally have something there in downtown Brighton?
Yeah, I think partnering with the city, obviously Eagle, to do some some things that we need to do to make it a safe place to live. But it's really come to life very quickly. We started developing about 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and now we've already got units ready to be occupied. Our models are open as of last weekend. So we welcome everyone to come out, and then obviously make your way through downtown Brighton, since we're just a walking distance away.
Yeah, that's part of the great part about it is Brighton is it's a close knit community, and you can walk to just about anywhere. And it'd be great. You could just head on down and see Sponge. And Cal, you touched on that, and they, as you said, they were the band that opened the amp. And again, this is the last time I'll mention that I'm a child of the '90s, but I remember distinctly the sort of the sea change in popular music. When I was, early '90s, it was a lot of sort of electronic dance music that was popular. And then this wave of popular alternative music came in. And I guess the one way to put it is you stopped listening to 96.3 and started listening to 89X. And then 96.3 copied 89X because they saw the winds, the way the winds were blowing. But Sponge was one of the key bands in that movement. And if people don't know, the song Plowed has kind of one of the most iconic guitar riffs of the '90s. And it was featured in a movie called Empire Records, which most of my female classmates loved. They put it on repeat. At least as much as you could back when you had a VHS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if you want to touch a little bit more on Sponge and they've been around the world.
They have, I think it was last year maybe they were celebrating 25th anniversary of Rotting Pinata, which is their classic album. It's a boy's face, but it's made out of those little candy corn, orange yellow treats. They had 3 or 4 really, really big songs. And that put them on the map, and they're still touring. I was lucky to get them. Luckily, the DDA came to me early enough because we'd been touching base about this for maybe since November.
It started in the fall. We started saying, what are we going to do on those off days, right?
Yeah. So we started thinking about it, and I contacted the agent and told him what we were looking at. He says, well, when you get it, I'll reserve a couple dates, and when you get it nailed down, let me know. And then I called Vinny, and because it's kind of weird because I had the Orbitsons booked to play Thursday in Milford this day because we do Milford's Thursday shows as well as Brighton's. And I said, Vinny, would you be cool switching and having Sponge? And he was like, yeah, because Sponge they don't play around here a whole lot. I say here, Southeast Michigan, a handful of times a year. So it's a treat, especially for people in this area, because if they do play, it's going to be like Wyandotte or Flint, and those are indoor venues. So to catch them outside here is pretty cool. And they put on a great show. They're going to go another 25, 30 years. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, yeah, I love the kind of local flavor of all this. These are a lot of local bands and just the collaborative spirit of all this. You got the Downtown Development Authority, you got local promoters, you got Pulte Homes working together. And a lot of this, there will be merchandise for people to buy. I know there's shirts and hats and stuff like that. And that's going to go to help fund Believe in Brighton. And also, I believe, fireworks displays downtown. So It's all just kind of feeding back on itself. And it's great to see. And Scott, I don't know if you have any particular...
Well, I think you're touching on what I was going to say is that we are just really blessed. We've been a community that works well together. We're very collaborative. I mean, we should be sure to include here the city is a integral part of all this. The DDA, we're part of the city also, but the city staff, the cities, all the people who work in the city, they have to be all hands on deck to help us out, and they do a wonderful job. They're part of it. I mean, they want to collaborate. We all want to collaborate together so that it's successful. And when you have that kind of spirit, it's catchy. People want to live where people want to be with it. Nobody's walking around complaining about having to do this or that we're happy to do this, and if we didn't have that collaboration, we couldn't bring in as big names as Cal's been able to line up, and so it's a blessing that we're all working together that way. This is a good community for doing that.
And presumably the hope is that this becomes an annual thing.
We'd like to see it continue as much as possible. So it's our goal. I think if we're hoping this is successful, and if it is, of course, we want to keep it going. Yeah.
And Cal, how hard is it to be able to book something like that? You've got a year in advance, but
it's wonderful. I tell you, it's we're used to people calling the week before New Year's Eve and going, I need a band.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So to have this much leeway and really opportunity freedom to book, I mean, they trusted us. which is really cool. And I got to mention, these are free concerts. So without Pulte, this probably doesn't happen.
Yes.
You know, and that's huge. You have got to have a sponsor to pull it off, because no, people aren't going to come up there and throw sponge money into a
Yes.
bucket. They're just not. So it's really good that Pulte stepped up on this.
And so, Heather, we're locking you into donating money for everything after this. Or
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah.
Sponge money.
Sponge money.
Sponge money. Sponge worthy.
We are very judicious about what we sponsor.
Sure.
And so very excited about this event. And I can speak just personally, my son and I, every year, it's like our thing that in June we get together and we go to downtown Brighton, just him and I. He has 2 sisters. So it just speaks to me personally to be able to take, my kids downtown and have a safe environment and lots of energy. And we were very excited to be part of this.
Yeah, and one of the great things about Brighton, as we said, is it's very walkable. There's everything you need around. You got restaurants. There's multiple ice cream places, and with the amp, you can watch from the actual amphitheater seats. You can watch from across the Millpond or on the Tridge or over at Dairy Queen at Stillwater. So it's a lot of great opportunities to be around downtown, and it's very accessible. As you guys have touched on, I what year was it? 2019 when they redid everything in Brighton?
That's when we did the amp. No, we the whole downtown, the streetscape and all that was done about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah.
So yeah, it's walkable streets. They made it deliberately. There's no curbs,
right.
Lots of benches and lots of places to hang around, and that'll be good for both the amp shows and the. I kind of picture these fireside music performances almost as more. People will walk up, listen to a song or two, and then go down to LR Bowl or wherever they want to go.
That's the idea. Hopefully, I mean, at first we thought, and we still might. We'll see how it works out. But they're just going to have an acoustic guitar. They might just walk around.
Oh yeah,
and play. But we'll see. If a crowd congregates around the fire pit, that's where it ends up.
Yeah, it's a little busking feel to it, I guess, without the hat out there. Probably, I don't know if they're being paid for this, so that's always good.
You mentioned too about, or Scott did about, it's a collaborative effort. I mean, Whitney and I have been doing music in this town since 2002, and the city is always great about helping us. I mean, they give us parking spots on Main Street. Patty Thomas from the Department of Public Works or Service. I'm not sure what it is in Brighton, but they help me there. I can call the city up if I need something electrical, whatever. I mean, the city and you don't get that in a lot of cities. And maybe just because we've been doing it here so long that, we just take it for granted, but it's unusual.
Well, and that's a good point. And maybe Scott, you can answer this. I know sometimes when events happen downtown, if you're closing down the streets or anything like that, some businesses aren't terribly happy about it. But it sounds like there's been a lot of local buy-in from all the businesses here in Brighton.
They're wonderful. I mean, we're blessed to have such a great mix of merchants downtown, and then they work so well together. They're very, very supportive. Obviously, everybody wants closer parking, and it's a world of that. But we're a walkable community, and it's easy, and so many people do walk in from the community. But we have such a unique mix of merchants. It gives people something more to do, so they can listen to music, they can check out different kinds of merchandise, and the merchants are wonderful because they support it. And then, of course, we have great restaurants, which is always a driver to make the day even that much better.
Yeah, we all like food.
Yeah,
for sure.
But we got a social district. If you really want to be just a little more casual.
Yes, that's one thing that is worth mentioning. Is social district does allow adults to wander around and maybe have a spirit or two.
Yes.
While they're listening to music, but at the same time, these are all family-friendly music acts, and obviously, there's a lot. My son, who's 12 now, used to play at the Imagination Station, so that's always available there too for if people want to bring their kids.
Yeah, and you can hear the music from there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So
good.
Parents can kind of keep one eye on the kids and watch the show on the other side. Now, Heather, Pulte is obviously participating in this and bringing lots of money to the table. Is there anything else that they're doing, or is there going to be, somebody in a tent there giving information on the homes or anything? Or?
We have the opportunity. We definitely will. I mean, obviously, we're right down the street. So the hope would be to drag people and get them into our models so they can see how beautiful they are. But yeah, I believe that we're going to have a tent set up and be able to hand out some information.
And there is a model or multiple models open right now?
Multiple models. Just literally 3 days ago, we opened up our models. And there's two to view, same square footage, offering a little bit different in terms of the layouts, with one having a loft and the other one having the ability to actually do a fourth bedroom, which hopefully will attract some families. But yeah.
Right. I see. I know I parked over there
Did you?
for the Brighton Homecoming Parade because
Yeah,
you know, everything was cleared out and there's some parking spots. And I know that sometimes it is difficult to get parking in downtown Brighton, but there are a lot of places. I don't know how many different parking lots there are, but you can also even park all the way over at Meyer and walk down. It's not that hard.
Yeah, there's lots of parking. It's just, it's not always right in front of where you want to be, but there's plenty of parking. And so we're hoping to make sure, and part of the DDA's goal, we're always trying to work toward. I mean, fundamentally, the DDA is a long-term economic device of any municipality. And so part of that is creating parking, creating better environment for merchants, creating better streetscapes. And it's all type thing that without a DDA, a city council would have to, on a yearly basis, try to budget for. But with a DDA, we have the ability to do it over a number of years and create the environments that we see. So we're always looking for parking, because who doesn't? But we also want to keep these other environments going. So that's the goal. And then back to the Pulte, I mean, they're so lucky to be building in the city. We have such a higher demand in the city than any other place, because people want to be close to the action. They want to be able to walk downtown, and the city services they get, they obviously value, so that it's a wonderful experience to live in the city of Brighton.
Yeah, and I would suggest, anybody concerned about parking, just get here early.
Yes.
Come down at 5 o'clock, go to a restaurant, and then head over to the shows. The Saturday night shows, the Thursday shows are 7 to 9 p.m.
Yes.
And then the Saturday shows are 7:30 to
7 to 9:30. They take a half-hour break.
7 to 9:30. So yeah, Thursday, maybe get off work and come downtown with the kids. And Saturday, come down at noon.
Yeah.
Spend some time, hit the local shops. There's bookstores and clothing stores in downtown Brighton. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, walk the Tridge.
Yeah.
It's cool downtown.
Yeah. And if I may promote myself, there's also an art sculpture tour. And if you scan the QR codes on there, you'll hear me talking.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know who narrated. There
That's
you
me.
go.
Yeah, I'm kind of the go-to voice, I guess, for Brighton. But I feel like we've covered just about everything. But is there anything else that any of you would like to bring up before we get out of here?
No, we're just as a DDA, we're just really excited to be able to bring it, but we're also very grateful for our partners in this and what they're bringing to the table, because we may have had an idea, but we didn't know how to pull it off, and you guys know how to do it. So thank you.
And Cal, anything you'd like to?
I'm excited for it. Kicking it off with Sponge is awesome, and it's a good run every Thursday. Something to do. That amphitheater. Because Whitney and I did shows there when it was a gazebo, and it was a dirt floor,
Yes.
and dirt where you sat on dirt and old grass, and it was pretty rough. We had a couple times where it rained and just flooded under the thing. So I know there's people in town that cry when stuff changes, but trust me, that amphitheater is 10 times better if you're going or if you're doing a show. It's a beautiful amphitheater. And I should mention, Heslop Audio does sound for us. I've been doing it for every show I've done. Outdoors, Joe Heslop Audio. So we hire a good company to do it. He's the one that did the audio at the amphitheater, designed it, but he brings in a lot more to, make it louder.
And Heather, anything you'd like to hit home here at the end before we?
Yeah, I would just like to say, I think our sponsorship is really important to us, to make this accessible for everyone, make it fun, memorable for families and couples. And we're very, very honored to be a part of it. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I guess one last thing we could do is plugs. If you want to plug, Griffith Realty, go right ahead.
Now, of course, if you want to live in town, we'd love to help you.
Well, besides this one, Whitney and I do shows in the lower level of Chalamichis. We have one more coming up this season, Aguanco, on April 25th, only 100 seats. And Aguanco is led by Dr. Alberto Nassif, a local doctor. Killer band. They're cool shows. So yes, plug that.
I think I used to have Dr. Nassif as a doctor.
Everybody I mentioned him to. He's like, I don't know when he has time to play.
And Pulte Homes, obviously.
Plugged a
West
lot.
Village.
Yeah, so very excited about West Village. We also have Legacy Estates coming up in Brighton. Just started development of that, which will be single family homes, probably a move up buyer. And then certainly we build all over Metro Detroit. So Wherever you're looking to live, we probably have a community. So go to pulte.com and find us wherever it is that you'd like to live.
Outstanding. And again, this is the Live at Millpond Park series in downtown Brighton. It begins June 18th, which is a Thursday, I believe, and runs till August 27th. Does that sound about right? So about 10 shows, 7 to 9 on Thursdays, and then 6 shows beginning July 18th. And again, they're all free. So come on down to downtown Brighton, explore the shops, enjoy the time, listen to the music, and have a good time.